Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. In today's video, let's discuss Surah Al-Mujadilah, the Pleading Woman. In Quran, we have 114 chapters, and this chapter is exactly placed in the center of the Quran. This is chapter number 58. Another important significance about this surah is there are 22 verses in this surah, and Allah's name is mentioned in all of these 22 verses, and this is the only surah which has Allah's name mentioned in all of the verses. It's a very beautiful surah and very beautifully placed in the right place, center of the Quran. A quick introduction about the background of this revelation of this chapter. This chapter was revealed in response to a woman's cry. The name of the woman was Khawla bint Talaba radiallahu ta'ala anha, and I will not go to the entire story. I will leave that to you to please go back and read it, try to understand what has happened in the background. But in a nutshell, she was abused by her husband, and she reaches out to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for a decision on this subject matter. And while she is walking to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, she is also praying to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for Allah's help. Now let's see the three key verses in this surah. The first one, the center one, and the last one. We'll discuss about this. In verse 1, Allah begins by addressing that He has heard the statement of this women talking to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and He also addresses that the issue is related to her husband, and mentions that He has also heard her complaint through her prayers. So he acknowledges that while she was walking to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and praying to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, Allah has already heard about her prayer and her issue before she even could pass the information to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Allah continues by saying that Allah hears the arguments between both the sides always. Now, in front of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, only the women's side of the story is kept, because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hasn't met the man yet. If you recall the story of Dawud alayhi salam, there was an incident where two people reached out to him for a decision on a matter, and Dawud alayhi salam, after hearing one side of the story, responds very quickly and passes a judgment. That incident did not happen here, because Allah directly responds to it and says that I have heard both sides of the story. He also says that Allah hears and sees things, even if in this scene where she is talking to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the man is not present, the husband is not present, but Allah has seen what has happened to her, what kind of abuse she has gone through. Allah has seen it. So Allah also says that I have seen and I have heard things. The fascinating thing about this chapter is Allah decided to keep this chapter in the center of the Quran, and He talks about a very key issue in the center of our society about a wife getting abused by the husband, and that is where He starts the surah, and He responds with a full complete chapter for the wife.